2015 CR 11815W, State of Texas versus Amia Cooper. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense.
Charles Bunt for Ms. Cooper.
And are you Miss Cooper? All right, Miss Cooper, before we do that, Mr. Bonk, you are appointed to represent Miss Cooper today. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Have you had ample time to review the allegations in the motion?
I have, and we're waiving our preparations.
All right, Ms. Cooper, do you understand that your attorney has 10 days to prepare for a hearing on this matter? You need to say yes or no. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you understand your attorney is waiving that right and he's asking to proceed now? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any objection to proceeding with this now?
No, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Amia Cooper who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2015 CR 11815W for the offense of promotion of prostitution of a person younger than 18 years and placed on probation on January 25th, 2016 for a period of 5 years and extended for 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violated condition number 2 on or about the 25th day of July 2023 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Amia Cooper, did in there legally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamines, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Okay, here's the thing. I can't hear you. You're going to have to speak up. You can't be whispering because I know when you're in public, you don't whisper. So how do you plead to a violation of condition number 2 that's just been read by the state? True or not true?
It's true.
We'll
State.
waive the remaining violated conditions, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
It is to adjudicate guilt or revoke the individual off her probation and is sentenced her to 2 years in TDC.
Is that the agreement?
That is our agreement, Judge.
Ms. Cooper, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
I cannot
Yes.
hear you. All right. The court will follow your agreement, find you guilty, grant the motion, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served.
Just for the record, Judge, I've been told by the court staff and the probation department, she has 576 days credit that we're asking to receive.
Robert, yeah,
Yes.
needs time for her state ed status and state ISF.
All right. Were those successfully
Yes,
completed?
Your Honor.
All right. And I'll give her credit for any time and inpatient treatment. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question about what a weapon or you need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. I understand the issues that you've had in your life, but at some point in time, you are going to have to start making better decisions, because otherwise you're going to find yourself in and out of prison and back to the same place that you were before. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have a significant other or somebody in your relationship who wants you to do things that are not for your best, then you need to drop them because they mean you no good. And I don't know if what I'm telling you is sinking in or not, but if you have a boyfriend out there who's making you do things or wants you to do things for fast and easy money, then guess what? That is not the person for you. And you're going to have to stop using drugs, because otherwise what you had in your system today, that could be the last time you use. And then guess what? There would be somebody dead in Bear County or somebody dead in a field, and they'd be trying to identify the body. Then somebody would identify the body, and it may be you. Don't be that person. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. We may excuse.
You may be excused. Thank you.
Please subscribe to help the channel.
Oh, then they would follow dismissal. So usually when you have a case, and let's say, we'll just call the defendant John Doe. Let's say John Doe has 3 cases. Defense attorneys don't like this, but the state can decide which case they're going to proceed on. All right, thank you. So the state can decide which case they want to go on. So if a person has a drug case, an assault case, and a burglary case, the state can decide, oh, I want to go on the burglary case. And the defense could say, no, I want to go on the drug case. Now, mind you, the judge can say, you know what? State, this is the case I'm calling for trial, and that's the one that we're going on. And then the state can either dismiss it or not. Now, sometimes the state will file a dismissal, and they will say, we're filing dismissal, but we're going to re-indict or bring it back again. Because all of these cases, when a dismissal is filed, they're not necessarily dismissed with prejudice. When a case is dismissed with prejudice, that means that it cannot be brought back again. So I'm a firm believer in this court. Do not file a dismissal because you don't have your witnesses or you're not ready, and then you are going to just go back up, re-indict it, and bring it back again. I think that's a little bit unfair. It's rare that I'll allow that. And the reason why I think it's unfair is because if you have a defense attorney and a defense attorney is not ready, the defense attorney doesn't have the same means to say, oh, I'm just going to dismiss this case and I'll come back on a different date when I'm ready. The only thing they can do is file a motion for continuance. And it could be accepted, granted, or denied. So let's say, for example, the defense files a motion for continuance and it's denied. Then they have to deal with that. They're going to trial. If the state files a motion for continuance and it's denied, then they can next say, oh, well, I'm filing this dismissal. And sometimes they will do it so that they can file the dismissal, then go back up and re-indict and start over because they were not ready. But the thing about dismissals is, as a judge, I don't have to sign them. It hasn't happened before, but defense attorneys can actually say, Your Honor, I object to them dismissing this. I object to your signing the dismissal because they've already informed me they're going to refile the case. Usually it's something like that. You're welcome. And then right now, I've received word, felony drug court is at capacity. So that means that people who have drug issues. All right, could everyone please whisper? Yeah. So what that means is there are no longer any spaces available for me to send people to felony drug court. So if I have someone who has a drug problem, the option of sending them to felony drug court is not there. So I will have to probably send them to SADF, which is about 180 days. But each one of these drug treatment places that I send people, there are wait times associated with them. So SADF is about 180 days, but then you have a wait time, and your wait time at the jail could be a month for you to get in there. And so then for me, the choice is this. All right, this person has just told me they use heroin every day or they use meth every day. If I release them, they're going to use heroin every day, they're going to use meth every day, and they may end up dying or may end up injuring somebody. So people who want help, they will say, no, I'll stay in jail and wait for the transfer. And then if they're sent to SADF and they get in SADF, then maybe a felony drug court. We'll have a felony drug court graduation and they'll have spaces available and I can send them there after that. Or either I may send them to SafeP, and SafeP is a drug treatment program, but it's actually at the prison. But they don't put you with people who are there serving their time. You're in the prison where you have people who are there for drug treatment. And that's a 6-month program. Well, I'm sorry, up to 9 months. And then when you are released from from SafeP, they'll put you in sort of the equivalent of a halfway house. So, but there are a lot of different places. The hardest place is pregnant people. The hardest place is to find a place for them because nobody, I don't want to say nobody, many people do not want to deal with that because when you think about it, if you have someone who's on heroin or some type of drug and they're pregnant, they're always putting them on methadone or something else to make sure that the baby is okay, make sure they're not going through withdrawals, because I'm not a medical doctor, but what I've learned is when you are pregnant, you can't have your body going through these withdrawals. So usually they'll do methadone. But even with methadone, when a baby is born, that baby is addicted to methadone and they still may have withdrawals. So that's why I always tell everybody, when you're pregnant, everything that you're doing, your baby is doing. And I don't know if your mom has ever had you go to the hospital with her, but when she was a prosecutor, I was a defense attorney. I've been to the hospital before because sometimes my clients were babies and you go there and the babies are just crying nonstop because they're going through withdrawals. And of course, they don't know why am I in so much pain? And sometimes they end up getting morphine to sort of calm them a little, but you don't know what effect that's later going to have in their development. And that's why I want to say when I first started doing cases involving children, it wasn't the law that you had to tell the person who was adopting the child everything that child went through. So then you would adopt a child and you would be trying to figure out, hey, what's wrong? Why are they not doing well in school? Why can't they concentrate? What's going on? So they changed the law. And so now people who are adopting children, they're supposed to get a packet. And in that packet, they will tell you, this is the medical conditions they've had. If there's some sort of genetic issues in that packet, it's supposed to be in there. Yes. Yes. So they put all of that in there. So that happens a lot, but I only have a limited amount of things that I can do because this is criminal court. And sometimes I would say my hands are tied a little bit in the fact, say, for example, somebody's charged with injury to a child. Well, Child Protective Service may already done their case and looked at it. The person that has done parenting classes, they've done all of this. And now the child has been placed back with a parent. And I've had nothing to do with that. It's the civil side placing them back to the parent. And they're the only parent, no other parent. And I'm looking at the case and maybe I think this person should be in prison or this person shouldn't have any children. I have to balance that against CPS has already placed the child with them. So, and sometimes when I say, all right, I'm going to go along with what CPS is doing, how I try to make sure the child is still protected, I will tell probation, you need to go out there every month and do randoms, check on the child and see what's going on and talk to the child separately. So it's a lot.
Please subscribe to help the channel.